Hey, it's Kyle Shannon with AI Learning Lab. Hang on, I'm putting on the Nuggets game on my iPad off to the side so I can pay attention to that. I'm in Denver, Colorado, watching the Nuggets. This is the AI Learning Lab. I was live a little bit earlier. I had a little time to kill, so I figured I'd pop back on for a bit more. This channel is all about learning about AI. I'm learning about AI. As I'm learning about it, I'm sharing what I know. So if you have questions about AI, just pop them in the what do they call them? The comments, and share this live if you think other people would benefit from this. A little bit about my background, thoughts on AWS SageMaker. Is that new? Is that the same thing that AWS announced a few weeks back? Hang on, let me go look. AWS SageMaker. When was this announced? Day. Getting started with SageMaker. I think that I don't know enough about SageMaker to give anything specific about that. But I think in general, the cloud-based services making these large language models accessible to businesses really easily is going to be, it's going to essentially be a requirement. If you're doing anything in cloud services, you're going to have these kind of foundational models available. I think one of the biggest things that, even in my business, I've got a small video technology business. The ability for me to leverage my own data in all sorts of powerful ways, if these cloud services can make that really easy, then I think it's a good thing. I think AWS is a little behind the ball. Google's a little behind right now, and OpenAI has screwed some people up. Okay. If you have questions about AI, there's lots of people here. So great. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. If you're new to generative AI, if you've not played with ChatGPT, I want you to do that. I want you to do that while you listen to me ramble. So the reason I have these URLs up in this little window here, and look, I'll even make them bigger. Boom. The top one is ChatGPT's official website, chat.openai.com. Bing is Microsoft's search engine, but there's a chat button there now. And if you click that, that's GPT-4, and you can use it for free. And then Poe.com lets you use their own their own large language model, Anthropic's Claude different versions, and ChatGPT 3.5 and 4. Some of the models you have to have paid access to use, but Poe's really cool because one of the models that you can use is Claude 100K. And Claude 100K is 100,000 token ChatGPT, basically, where you can paste in up to 75,000 words into your prompt. So, for example, you could take a transcription from a 3-hour meeting and just paste it in there. You could take your great American novel and dump it in there and ask it for notes. Have it do a rewrite. If you have questions about AI, pop them in. I will do my best to get through and answer them. If I can't answer them, I will tell you. I'm a smartass. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm a longtime entrepreneur. And and I try to have fun here. Try to keep it light. Keep it light. We don't want to get too heavy. We don't want to get too heavy, people. Can we invest in what? You can invest in Microsoft for Bing and for what they're doing, getting under Google's skin. I don't think you can invest in OpenAI right now. They're not public. Nvidia just hit $1 trillion market cap after doubling the previous year. I heard someone say that SEO is dead because of AI. I'm trying out some and wondering what you think. I think SEO is going to be forever changed. I don't think it's going to be dead, but I think there will be LLMO Large language model optimization. How do you end up showing up in results when someone asks about your subject is similar to SEO, but with SEO you can have all these sort of fake and artificially padded sites and things like that. The I feel like the SEO game got really toxic, and the reason it got toxic is that Google had 92 or 94% market share when ChatGPT came out, and it was effectively a monopoly. So everyone sort of figured out how to game the system, and they would change the algorithm and change things up, but for the most part, everyone was doing the same thing when it came to that kind of marketing. I think that as more and more people get used to getting answers from these engines rather than getting a list of options that many of which are paid for, it dramatically changes that game. And in fact, Google announced that they've got a new search result that includes the answer to your question as well as links. If it gives me the answer that I need, I don't need to go look at those links, right? So I think search engine optimization has changed forever. It's not going to be apparent in the next 6 months to a year, but as usage of large language models goes up and search goes down, and maybe there's some shifting and balancing from Google, maybe to Microsoft, maybe to other players, I think you're going to see the rules start to change and what's required start to change. So I hope that helps. You think it's going to be WALL-E reality soon? Yeah, I don't really remember WALL-E well enough to know, but robots walking around helping us. I don't know enough about that movie. Oh, you know what we can do? Watch this. Oh, over to the ChatGPT. You can make money with ChatGPT. What's going on? Come on, ChatGPT. Okay, so we're going to do a new chat. I don't think we need to connect it to the internet. Oh, yeah, we do. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're doing GPT-4, and we're going to say, what are some of the sci-fi elements of the movie WALL-E that are related to generative AI? Create a table of the element in one column where we are today and what year you predict we'll get there. Let's see what it does. Let's see if it goes off to the internet. Yeah, it says browsing the web, so that's interesting. WALL-E movie summary, so it's going out to the web and getting a movie summary from WALL-E. I wonder where it went. Let's go find out where it went. It went to Wikipedia. Okay, solid. Smart. Clever. Now it's scrolling down. It's thinking. Oh, wait, that's a little too bright. There you should be able to see it. It's thinking. Reading content. Good. This is good. Thinking. All right. Doing a little more thinking. Oh, okay. So the first one was go get the WALL-E movie summary. The second thing it did was what's the current state of AI sentience and object recognition. Click failed, so I don't know where it went. Very possible this is going to be largely disappointing, but hey, this is why we do this. We're all learning. We're all just figuring this crap out. Boy, it's doing a lot. It's searching all over the place. Predictions for when AI will achieve sentience. Research.aimultiple.com. Reading content failed. Sometimes I think it goes to sites that are that require a login, and then it fails. So All right, sure. Let's discuss some of the sci-fi elements from the movie Wall-E. All right, and now it's created a table. So sentient robots, as of 2023, we don't have them. Predicted year, given the current pace of AI and research, it's likely to be a significant time for sentient robots. Okay, fine. Advanced computer vision. Computer vision systems have greatly advanced and are highly effective. It's likely we will see further improvements over time. Natural language processing and understanding. So it didn't really give me a year prediction. And then autopiloted spaceships. So yeah, so it's like we've got some elements. I kind of feel like we're living in this. We are quickly approaching a what I'm calling a post sci-fi world where just little elements of movies that we were like, that's fantastical when we were kids. There's a lot of stuff I remember from when I watched Star Trek as a kid where I'm like, that'll never happen, and now we have phones that are like what they had there, and pretty amazing stuff. What can AI do? Some examples. Well, I just showed you some. AI can. Here's a fun one. Here's a good way to start. So if you haven't played with ChatGPT, that's why I have these URLs up. Go to chat.openai.com or Bing. Go to bing.com and click on the chat button, and start playing with these tools. And where I would start is with what I call parlor tricks. And parlor tricks are just cool things that kind of demonstrate what the using ChatGPT-4 that's connected to the internet. It went and found, a movie synopsis and then kind of compared features of that movie with the future, and it actually put it into table format. Like, it can do that. It formatted that table. It did all the research, formatted that table. Like, that would probably take you a solid hour to go research all that, make a table, do that sort of thing. But let's do some fun things. And I'll just do it with GPT 3.5 since that's the free one. So if you go to ChatGPT, you can use it for free, but you only get to use 3.5. The downside is it's not quite as magical at the writing stuff, but it's super fast. So let's say my dog is black and white and football shaped and fat and barks at anyone that walks by. Write a country song about my dog Champ. And so zip bang, it writes you a song, and it knows things like verses and choruses, and it rhymes. So let me tell you about a pup named Champ, a black and white wonder with a football shaped stamp. He's got a bark that's loud, and he's quite a sight. When folks walk by, he puts up a fight. My dog Champ, he's a legend in town with his round little body and his bark so loud. He's black and white like a piano key. Champ, oh Champ, you're the best friend to me. So it wrote a cute chorus. It didn't give me a title though. Please give me 10 titles. So it understands that it just wrote a song about a dog named Champ. So I don't have to say, give me 10 titles about a song about a dog named Champ. I don't have to repeat that. So one of the things that these ChatGPT things do is they have memory of what you can do. So Champ, the barking ball of love, black and white, football shaped. That's pretty good. Legends of Champ, the town's best friend. Chubby Champ, the protector's howl. Piano keys and puppy love, the ballad of Champ. So I did that. Okay, so that's a thing it can do. So that's pretty slick. Now I can say, write me a professional business email requesting a partnership with a what's it called? With a company I admire. All right. And so it understands I didn't give it enough specific things to give it a specific name. And I didn't really tell it anything about my company, so that would improve it. But dear company name, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to express my admiration for the company name, outstanding achievements and innovative approach in your industry field as the blank of my company, right? So it put variables in there, and then it's a decently long letter. So I can say things like, make it shorter and more conversational. And so it will just do that. Boom, boom, boom. So it starts out now. I hope this email finds you well! Exclamation point. I wanted to reach out and let you know how much I admire you, your impressive achievements and forward-thinking approach. We specialize in blank. Our values and visions strongly align with yours. Now I can do this. Now I can say, please format this email in HTML that is safe to send in an email in a bulk email program. And now it writes the code. So it's basically rewriting the email that it just wrote in HTML code. Right? So those are just like a handful of examples, like just off the top of my head. And what I would say is this: start playing with these tools and start out with these kind of parlor tricks. Have it write a song, have it write a poem, have it, I don't know. Look, you can copy and paste your LinkedIn profile, just all the elements from your LinkedIn profile, paste it in there and have it write you a resume, or have it write you a cover letter if you're trying to get a job. And then what I would say is start to think about projects in your life, either for you personally or for someone else or for your job, where you want to accomplish something, and then try to figure out how to use these tools to accomplish that. A good way to think about ChatGPT is like an incredibly smart assistant or an incredibly smart collaborator. Microsoft has named their ChatGPT thing Copilot, which I think is a really good name, and it's a very apt description. You're the pilot, you figure out what you want to do, and then think of ChatGPT as your co-pilot. What if I want to talk to AI about numbers, not language? Well, you can, so let me just do a new chat here. I'll just pop back over there. Thank you for the roses, AJ. That's cool. Let me say, because I don't know shit about math, so let's say, please act as a advanced mathematics professor and tell me the 10 most important equations I should learn. Thank you for the little thingy there. Learn. All right, as an advanced mathematical dude, here are your things: the Pythagorean theorem, Euler's formula, foundational theorem of calculus, Maxwell's equations. Okay, so now I can say, please give me 5 examples that utilize Maxwell's equations with relevant data. Certainly. Here you go. Electromagnetic wave propagation. Maxwell's equations can be used to analyze the behavior of electromagnetic waves. I think everybody knew that. It's fairly obvious, isn't it? Let's consider a scenario where the electromagnetic wave with a frequency of 3 gigahertz, 3 × 10⁹ hertz, propagates throughout space. Frequency F, network error, regenerate response. Sometimes ChatGPT gets a little tired. Too many people are using it. They're asking it for big equations. So now it went and it solved it. capacitor charging, magnetic field due to current. So anyway, so it can do math. Now, let me show you another cool thing. If you pay for ChatGPT Plus and you get access to GPT-4, then you also get access to these things called plugins. And in the plugins, I don't have any enabled right now, but I have a bunch installed. One of them that I have installed is the Wolfram Alpha plugin. So now ChatGPT is connected to Wolfram Alpha. So please show me all of Maxwell's equations as a stand-alone formula followed by an example. And that should now fire off the plugin for Wolfram Alpha, but maybe not. Maybe it knows enough that it doesn't think it needs to go out there and do that. I'm trying to think. What else? Well, we'll see if it fires off the Come on. It's a little slow tonight. Am I using I'm using GPT-4. GPT-4 is slower than 3.5. So if you want speed, use 3.5. If you want quality, use 4. 4 is better at coding. GPT-4 is better at writing. It's really good at writing. Can AI make investment suggestions based on data available publicly online? So some of the plugins, there are financial plugins. So you can do things like you can have ChatGPT write you an investment bot. You can take code from 2 different investment bots and put them together. It says using unknown plugin. I wonder if Wolfram Alpha just screwed up. If Wolfram Alpha could not understand. I don't know what it did. Anyway, so I don't know why it didn't use Wolfram Alpha there. So it kind of screwed up. It looks like their servers might be overloaded right now. But anyway, you can also, some of the plugins are investment. Like there's ones that pull in stock data, real-time stock data. And so you can analyze things with ChatGPT and use the plugins to go get the real-time data. Or just use the internet-connected ChatGPT. But you can copy the code from 2 different trading bots and paste it into ChatGPT and tell it to create you a hybrid bot that takes combines the 2 approaches. It's really remarkable. All right. So, hello everybody. If you're new here, my name is Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. These what are they called? URLs. These links right here. They're not links, but if you haven't used ChatGPT, the top URL there is ChatGPT's official website, chat.openai.com. Bing.com is Microsoft's implementation of ChatGPT-4. And then Poe.com is another thing that gives you access to ChatGPT and Claude and their own model Sage and some different things. The reason I put these here is I want people just to try the real deal. There's a lot of scam sites out there and scam apps that are trying to rip people off, so I'm trying to have you not be ripped off. If you have questions about generative AI, that's what I'm here to do, answer this. And ask away, and I'll do my best to answer it. And have fun along the way. And I'm watching the Nuggets game. Nuggets are down 89-85 right now. The Heat are picking it up. They're picking it up. I live in Denver, by the way, so that's why I'm looking. I don't really give 2 shits about basketball, but But they're in the finals, so that's kind of cool. I'm definitely a fair weather sports fan, unless it comes to racing. F1 and NASCAR, both of those I follow. Not that you care. Oh, the reason I'm just rambling right now is I'm trying to figure out where I got lost in my questions because TikTok reset my questions. And so I'm just trying to figure out where I was. So if it seems like I'm just sitting here talking to myself, that's because I'm just sitting here talking to myself. How old am I? I'm 58. You think, oh yeah, okay. So I'm sort of back to where I was. Hold please. I'm almost there. I've come to the conclusion a couple of days ago that I am an AI. It's possible. That's awesome. What are some of your favorite prompts? Well, so prompts.chat, the little lower thing here, prompts.chat, is a thing called Awesome GPT prompts. And basically what it is it's a long list of prompts that tell ChatGPT to act as a certain kind of person, basically, or a certain kind of robot. Act as a stock trader, act as a movie critic, act as a no. That actually works really well with ChatGPT because of the nature of how it works. It basically narrows the sort of, they call it sort of the semantic clusters or the vectors. When you tell it to act as a stock trader, it's not going to look at all of the time someone mentioned stock trading, even if they're not experts. If you say act as a stock trader, it's going to look in the latent space, it's called, for the area where people are stock traders talking about stock trading. So part of my favorite prompts are act as a. So that's a good one. There's another good thing that you can do. Here's, rather than a specific prompt, there's more like a prompt philosophy. So Google for years has trained us that you write the perfect prompt and you get back an answer, right? And if they've done their job right, you get back this long list of things, and ideally the first 2 or 3 links are the ones that you need. And then because of SEO and advertising and things like that, over the past, 5 or 7 years, it's gotten pretty shitty where it's just, there's a lot of spam in there, and it's been over SEO'd, right? So with ChatGPT, because we've been kind of trained to do this perfect prompt in, single answer out, I think that's kind of the expectation, is that, write me the great American novel, and out comes the great American novel. What happens, though, is the more generic your prompt, the more generic the answer. And so a lot of people try ChatGPT and they're like, well, it sucks. It gave me a stupid answer. So rather than think about it like a search engine, think about it like a conversation. And you say, well, I want to write the great American novel. Where would I start? Hey, ChatGPT, can you act as a writing consultant that specializes in helping people write the great American novel? Sure, I'll do that. And it'll probably give you a little bit of advice. And then you say, I have an idea for a novel about, a guy that lives with a fat dog and his 2 kids and his wife, and I don't know, it's raining out, whatever it is. What might be some other elements that would make that story interesting? And it will give you some. And then maybe you like some of those. And then you're like, I don't know how to organize a novel. What are some different story frameworks that I might use to make this novel? Well, there's Save the Cat, and there's this, and it'll give you a bunch of story frameworks. And then you say, oh, tell me more about Save the Cat. And it'll tell you, and you're like, can you help me write an outline for my book using the Save the Cat story framework? Sure, here you go, bum, bum, bum. Out it comes, right? And within, 10 minutes of that back and forth interaction, you'll be more educated, you'll understand prompting better, you'll probably have a pretty solid outline to your great American novel, right? And you might be inspired to do other things, right? And so for me, the prompting game is really about prompting philosophy, right? And it's sort of break your conversation up into small little chunks and give it a small specific chunk that it can do well after you provide it with a lot of context. I want you to be this consultant, and here's the idea I have, and here's what I want my book to do. And then you ask it a simple little question, and it'll give you an answer based on that context. So that's how I would approach it. Because all of the specific prompts that people tell you, oh, here's the 10 prompts that'll make ChatGPT beautiful. You can make money with ChatGPT. Those might work for them. They might not work for you. I would say start with, what are you trying to accomplish? And then Just think of it like if you had an intern that just happened to be smarter than anyone else on the planet, how would you ask it? How would you ask that person to do something for you? I don't know. You'd probably tell them who you are and what you're trying to accomplish, and you'd give them some instructions and see if they understood it, and then get an answer. So that's what I do. Software engineer, a little worried about AI. Yeah. What should I study for job security in the future? I mean, I would lean in heavy into generative AI for. I don't know where you are. If you're a software engineer, you're probably doing coding. So if you're not using GitHub's Copilot, you probably should. If I were a software engineer right now, I'd be learning about all of the open source large language models. I'd be installing them on local machines and learning about security. I think there's going to be a big new area of AI called AI ops, which is there's going to be lots and lots of AI tools, and companies are going to want their data manipulated in all sorts of crazy ways, and it's going to be like an IT position, but it's going to be people that understand what these AI tools are, how to connect them together, how to connect them to APIs. I would start learning things like LangChain and AutoGPT and Baby AGI, the autonomous agents. Those things are all kind of sophisticated commingling of different tools on the back end. So I'd just start digging in and learning. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Creators will never be replaced. Your ability to imagine is beyond technical skills. Yeah, well, so I tend to agree with that. I think that what goes up in value in a world where all the tactical stuff can be executed by the machines is critical thinking, creative thinking, curation, taste, refinement, understanding your audience, understanding strategy, things like that. Yay, so glad you're on. Thank you, Ann. Appreciate that. All right. I can be in the university class and have my knowledge project on my classmates and be the dumbest. Wait. I can be in the university class and have my knowledge project on my classmates and be the dumbest. I don't quite know what that means. Oh, dumbest student in the class. Well, yeah, I think what you're saying is with access to with access to this immediate access to knowledge, you don't need to be book smart to be able to get access to this knowledge. That's true. And the reality is that everyone's going to have access to that knowledge. So I don't quite know the role of universities as they currently are kind of broken in this model, right? Because a lot of what universities are about right now is giving you information in such a way that you gain enough knowledge to be able to be competent. Well, with these large language models, you've got instant access to that knowledge and even a level of competence. Like it can write computer code for you, even if you don't know how to do that. You still need to know how to put it all together, but yeah, it definitely does that. All right, when you ask AI, what information do you need from me? How do you answer like 10 questions in a row? Oh, that's a really good question. Here, watch this. This is cool. This is a little hack that I got from someone on my TikTok. I put out a TikTok and I said, you can take the README file of a GitHub, paste it into ChatGPT and tell it, I'm on OS X and please give me step-by-step instructions to get this GitHub repository up and running. GitHub is a code repository for those of you that are not geeky. I'm just geeky enough to know what it is, but I don't really know how to do it. So I can have ChatGPT teach me how to do that step by step, which is cool. And then someone on my TikTok told me to do this. Okay, so give me step-by-step instructions for getting a GitHub repository up and running. It may not do it because it's going to ask me which GitHub repository. No. Sure, here's the step-by-step instructions. So now it's going to give you the step-by-step instructions. create a GitHub account, install Git, configure Git. Then it gives you the code. Oh, sorry. To configure Git. Now create a new repository, right? So this is about if I wanted to create my own repository, how I would get it going. Okay, now I'm going to say stop. So now what I'm going to say is this. I'm going to say, I want you to act as my coding coach and give me each instruction one at a time and not move on to the next step until I say, okay, I got it. And then I'm going to say, do you understand? Question mark. And now it should, absolutely, I can do that. We'll take it one step at a time. Step one, if you don't already have this, blah, 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 let me know when you've successfully created your account. Okay, I got it. Excellent. Now let's move on to the next step. Step two, install Git. Go to the website, download the version suitable. Let me know when you've completed it. Now I can say, I'm on OS X. Does that matter? Or is there anything special I need to know? Question mark. Yes, you can install Git on OS X. You can use Homebrew, a package manager for OS X. And now it tells me how to install Homebrew. So open your terminal on your Mac, right? So, and now I can say, okay, let me just say, okay. I didn't even say, okay, I got it. Great job. Now it's moved on to step three, configure Git. So yeah, so you can do that. So hopefully that helps. What the funk is this? This is the AI Learning Lab. My name's Kyle Shannon. I'm just a dude. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Storyvine, which is an 11-year-old automated video platform. I was around in the early days of the World Wide Web. In 1994, I started one of the first online magazines, and I co-founded a company called agency.com, which was one of the first digital agencies. And one of the reasons I started this channel is that I see incredible parallels from the early days of the web to what's going on right now with generative AI and ChatGPT and the generative image engines and things like that. And so I'm just here to tell people what I'm learning along the way, because I'm getting up to speed on this AI stuff kind of in real time over the past year, and I'm sharing what I'm learning along the way. So if you're new to AI, go to the top three websites there. The very top one, chat.openai.com. That's the official ChatGPT website. So if you want to play with ChatGPT, just go there and start playing. And then the other things, there's some other options. And then prompts.chat will teach you how to do some prompting and some philosophy about it. And then futurepedia.io is just like this database of tools, lots and lots of tools. All right. Can AI tell me the Powerball numbers? Someone on my last lives said that ChatGPT correctly guessed the Powerball numbers, but they didn't play them. Got to play to win. I'm a Gen Xer. I don't know if you remember that there were TV commercials. They're like, for the lottery, you got to play to win. So that always pops in my head when someone's like, I should have done something. What program are you using to have two cameras displayed? I am using this application called TikTok. It's just, there's when you go live, one of the options is dual camera. I assume if you have dual cameras, I don't know if it's specific to devices, but most devices these days have dual cameras. So you just click dual camera, and that box is my camera facing away from me, just pointing at my laptop. So that's all that is. All right. There are tools that existed for decades that converted text to HTML. Okay, DJ. So all right. Six are just tiring. Fine. I need, oops, I don't need to shout. I need help writing a Python application. I want it to take 3 text inputs and then incorporate those values into a prompt, send that prompt to OpenAI API, and then take the results and send an email to the person that filled out the form. This was one of the first things I did with ChatGPT. Sure, here's a basic Python script that will do what you ask. Note that you will need to replace placeholders with actual API keys. So then it writes me some Python code. And there's my form inputs. There's the responses. There's the headers. It's sending the thing out to OpenAI. Now it's creating JSON of that. Now it's creating an email template. So this is way more than writing a procedural, manually formatted email formatting tool that would write some HTML. This is writing code, right? It understands code. It understands the logic. If you haven't used GitHub's Copilot, it sounds like you're decently technical. I would go start using it and start seeing what this stuff can do. Not only did it write the code for me, it's explaining how it did it. It's explaining how I need to replace the URLs. It can analyze your code. It can debug your code. It will often get it wrong, but if you're a good programmer, you'll know how to fix that shit. But it will help a lot. So anyway, hope that helps. All right. That's not how math works. Okay, I don't know how math works. I would say, listen, I've got a degree in acting, not mathematics. So if you know more about math, go to ChatGPT and ask it how to do the math that you're talking about. And you might also want to try bard.google.com, which I don't have here. That's Bard's version of this, or Google's version of ChatGPT is called Bard. It's really shitty at language, but apparently it's pretty good at code and math because, Google's an engineering kind of company. GPT-4 is way better at math, plus gives you math plugins, but all explain concepts great. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think GPT-4 is the way to go, but you could try Bard. I've asked ChatGPT to only ask one question at a time and wait for me to say next question. Yeah, perfect. I'm looking for an API to scrub podcasts to create videos. So a lot of the plugins right now, or not a lot, there are a fair amount of plugins. So I'll show you how to do plugins here. If you pay for GPT Plus, let me make a new chat here. That little yellow flag behind ChatGPT is the plus sign. One of the first things that you should do if you want to try plugins, you go to your settings. And then in your settings, the second option down here is called beta features, and there's browse with Bing and there's plugins. Make sure those are enabled. Since they're beta features, you have to explicitly turn them on. And then when you roll over GPT-4, you now have 3 modes. You've got default, which is not connected to the internet. You've got browse with Bing, which is connected to the internet. And then you got plugins. So I'm going to choose plugins. And then you've got this list of installed plugins. And there's lots and lots of them. I've got a fair amount installed. But if you don't have any installed, you go to the plugin store. Excuse me, just had ice cream. And I'm going to say all. Let's see how many they have here. There's 65 pages, 65 times 4 plugins, so like 250, 260 plugins. And in here, there are plugins that you can point it to YouTube, or you can point it to, audio files or things like that. It will pull the transcripts from them, and then you can scrub things. Now, if you're looking for an API, then you'll just go need to find an API to do that, where you pull the transcript and then send that transcript to OpenAI. Or you could use Zapier, which is a no-code tool that can help you create an automation and string things together. I didn't see who won the Nuggets game, but they're interviewing the Heat, so I assume the Heat have won. I don't really give too much of a shit, but I think it's tied 1-1 right now. Let's see. Yeah, he's smiling. The guy from the Heat's smiling. I think that means the Nuggets done tanked it. All right. You're not even using the best feature. Well, tell me what the best feature is. I would love to learn. I would like you to replicate your live broadcast setup. Can you help? Hardware and software. Okay, I have a chicken foot monopod, so it's like 3 little feet and a monopod. I got a stand. I have an iPhone. I have a 64 LED light on a cardboard box. There's my cardboard box. And I have a laptop. That's it. That's it. Love the education plugin. Show Me's an incredible plugin. Yeah, Show Me will create little charts and graphs for you. I don't know. Does Show Me do anything? I've only seen it do like flow charts. Does it do anything other than flow charts? Need an MLS Major League Soccer plugin. I think there's a football plugin, like a soccer plugin. I don't know if it covers the MLS though, but that might not be what you're talking about. How long before they'll be able to give answers with real-time info? Right now, today. You mean like because it's not connected to the internet? So you can make money with ChatGPT. If you go here, see this. If you pay for ChatGPT Plus, you can say browse with Bing. So if I click on that, I can say, when you're talking to it, yeah, it's funny. Like I find myself saying please and thank you a lot, and I'll like give it encouragement. I'm like, that was a great answer, and I don't know, it seems to work. Chat GPT can be helpful for someone. Oh, can Chat GPT be helpful for someone starting a business? Yes. My friend Mackenzie Bowes, who he came and spoke. I've got an AI salon, and we bring speakers in every other week. And he's got a project that he started called GPT Boss. So if you go to gptboss.com, it's essentially a bunch of pre-prompts in front of GPT-4, but he's got like, a CFO and a social media copywriter and a social media manager and a business coach. And he's got all these people that you can hire, right? You can virtually hire them. And they all have very specific expertise. And it's very much designed. And he's also got generators, like generate marketing copy or generate, I don't know, a business letter or generate things like that. You can do that on your own as well, right? You can start to say, you could even go to ChatGPT and you could say, hey, I'm thinking about, let's do it right. GPT 3.5, since it looks slow tonight. So I'm going to say, please act as a new business coach. I want to start my own business selling 3D prints of fidget toys, which is probably a horrible business because you can get them from a nickel from China. But whatever. Where do I begin? ? Starting your own business selling 3D fidget toys can be an exciting venture. 1, research the market. 2, develop a business plan. 3, determine your product line. Set up a workshop, source materials and supplies, build an online presence, right? So it's given me broad strokes, all the things to do. I could say, what are the risks of this this business, and are there other ideas that might be better? So notice I'm kind of talking to it like if I were talking to an actual business coach, I might ask things like that, or the business coach might volunteer that. And if you get your initial prompt right, it might ask you questions. You might have it interview you about your business and ask all the important questions. And then you tell it all the answers, and then it will give you a business plan. Like any business starting selling 3D prints of fidget toys comes with its own set of risks. Here's some potential risks. Market saturation. The market for fidget toys may become saturated. Oh, it's beyond saturated. Intellectual property infringement. Yep, that's a good one. Quality control, manufacturing and equipment issues, changing customer preferences, price competition. Here's some other ideas. Customized 3D printing services, so offer personalized 3D printing, educational tools and models, spare parts and accessories, 3D printing workshops and training. So, within whatever it's been, a minute here, I've got some clarity at least around my business. And then you can just keep digging like that. If you spent 2 hours with your business idea just doing this, and then sort of copy and paste out the things that you feel are right or important. The other thing to do is like give it reinforcement. Say, I really like the personalized angle. Can you talk more about what I might do specifically? Customized jewelry, personalized home decor, customized phone accessories, customized gifts and keepsakes, right? I did one on the last live. I was just live earlier today, and someone said, can it write like t-shirts for moms that are burned out and, tired, right? Or whatever, exhausted and tired. And it was brilliant. Actually, I think I probably still have it up. Hang on. I'll show it to you. It was really good. Mom t-shirt sayings. So the prompt that I wrote was, give me a moms that are tired and overworked. They should be clever and funny and short enough to read at a distance. The table should include a column for the saying, a column for the age of the kids, and a column for the category. And so again, it's a fairly shitty, simple little prompt, but it dumped out 30 t-shirt ideas in, like 30 seconds. So tired as a mother, that's not bad. Mom B, the tired mom. Fueled by caffeine and chaos, raising wildlings, which is great. I run on coffee, sarcasm, and kids' tears. I would change that to I run on caffeine, sarcasm, and kids' tears, but it's brilliant. Supermom has left the building. Can I get the manager of parenting? I think that one's fucking brilliant. That one would sell. I can't adult today. I child-proofed my house, but they still get in. I mean, these are good. They're good. Toddler wrangler, world's okayest mom. I make mom jeans look good. Wine because I can't drink coffee at 5 p.m. So, yeah, so it can be an incredible business coach, business support. Is there a Hugging Face ChatGPT plugin? I don't think so yet that I know of. I don't think so, but it's possible. I haven't looked at all the plugins. There's shit's happening so fast. It's just unbelievable. If you're new here, the URLs I have on screen here, the top one is the official ChatGPT website. Then there's Bing and Poe, or just other ChatGPT options to try. And then prompts.chat will teach you how to prompt, and futurepedia.io is tools. And if you're wondering who the hell I am, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. I'm an entrepreneur and a CEO, and a guy that is weirdly, I was called adorably optimistic. I am adorably optimistic about generative AI. I think it's going to be incredibly transformative. It's incredibly powerful, and I think it's important for people to learn it. So that's what this is about. I don't know much more than you. I've been kind of diving into this stuff for about the past year. I am not a machine learning expert. I'm more interested in how we use these tools to amplify humanity. I want to write a short and feature screenplay. How do I prompt ChatGPT to help? Let's go do that. So I've written 7 screenplays, and GPT-4 in particular is really good at this stuff. Do we need, I don't even think we need the internet. We can just use the default model. We don't want it to go out and talk to the internet. We can just pull it from within here. So I can say, what are the 3 most popular, I want you to act as a screenwriting coach. Please tell me the top 3 story frameworks for screenwriting. Did you say a feature? A short and a feature for screenwriting. We'll start with the feature. I have a feature idea. All right. Sure, be happy to help. Here's the 3 things. The 3-act structure, the classic 3-act structure is the mainstay of the film industry. It's split into the setup, Act 1, the confrontation, Act 2, the resolution, Act 3. The hero's journey. This structure is based on Joseph Campbell's book, The Hero in a Thousand Faces. It's a cyclical structure featuring stages like a call to adventure, refusal to the call, crossing the threshold, trials and tribulations. Save the cat, beat sheet, and so there's the 3 that it likes. Those are 3 classic ones. I like the save the cat one just because it's kind of interestingly organized. So I'm going to say, okay, my idea is about, let's see, a dog that jumps out of his owner's car at a stop light, but they don't notice, and it's about his adventure to get back home. That's a tearjerker. This one's a tearjerker. That's a great concept. It's got an immediate hook, inherent conflict, and clear. So Act 1, setup, introductions to the dog's happy home life. Act 2, confrontation. The dog realizes he's lost. Stop that. I'm going to say, can you please use the save the cat framework instead? Question mark. Opening image, snapshot of the dog's comfortable, loving home life. Theme stated, during the play, someone can mention how curiosity can lead to trouble. You set it up, you see? The family, along with the dog, embark on a road trip. The dog jumps out of the car at a stoplight to investigate something. The dog has to decide whether to continue exploring or try to follow the car. By the time he decides, the car is gone. Right? And it goes on, and it gives you all of the detail. So, like, I just gave it a shitty, paper thin idea, and it's fleshed it out in a way that, like, I could actually see this turning into something, right? And then you can do things like the dog's name is Champ. Please give me 10 possible titles for an animated feature that will make kids and adults Want to see it. Boom. Absolutely. Here, 10. Champ's Big Adventure, A Dog Named Champ. Journey of the Lost Pup. Champ's Tale. Champ, A Canine Odyssey. Champ's Great Journey Home. One Tale at a Time. TAIL. Huh? The Story of Champ. Champ the Hero Hound. Champ's Paw Prints. A Journey. All right. So those are fine. I mean, I think One Tale at a Time is pretty clever. Now I'm going to say, write me a Hollywood logline that will get the most cynical agent and producer to want to buy this film. Champ the Hero Hound. A devoted family dog named Champ is left stranded near the heart of the city after an impulsive leap from the family car leads to an unexpected separation. Unleashed in the urban jungle and guided by the wisdom of a street-smart stray, oh, that's good, he must use every ounce of courage and wit to navigate the hostile forces and daunting challenges in a heartwarming, thrilling quest to find his way back to the family that desperately misses him. Oh, Champ, where did Champ go? How did we not know? Champ, he's here. It's good. It's good. So, I was just pulled out some of my acting chops there, huh? Was that good? Did you believe it? Was it believable? All right. Thoughts on using copyrighted materials in the training of LLM data sets. If the people that created the initial data sets had played by the rules and not used copywritten material, we wouldn't have these things. I have a sneaking suspicion. So Stability AI, they're the company that made Stable Diffusion. They've also got their own large language model that they just open sourced. They open sourced their image model too. Now they're a for-profit company and they're open sourcing their core models. And I initially was like, why the hell are they doing that? And then what hit me was, I suspect that they knew that they trained these things on copywritten material and they might get their asses sued from here to oblivion. But they want the technology to be out in the world. So in the ideal world, you would ask everyone for permission for everything they've ever written and put on the internet. In the real world, there's so much shit on the internet, copywritten and non-copywritten and proprietary and non-proprietary, that's just out there. It's been out there for 30, 40, 50 years. If you really want to train one of these models to have a vast amount of knowledge, you kind of have to train it wide. Companies like Adobe are, they trained their Adobe Firefly, their model that's now part of the generative AI part of Photoshop. They trained it on public domain and Adobe stock images that they own all the rights to. So they made the conscious decision not to train it on copywritten material for that very reason, right? Because they're a big commercial entity and they want anything produced in Adobe products to be able to be used commercially, right? So I think it was a necessary evil. And now that it's been done, these models are fucking incredible. They're incredible. And if you understand how they work, what they're not doing is they're not copying and pasting passages from copywritten work. The way it actually works is they're predicting a single word at a time based on your prompt. They're saying, what's the probability of the next word that should follow this prompt? And then the next one after that, and then the next one after that. So it's writing original content. It's just the training base is on lots of stuff, and some of that is arguably copywritten. It is a very gray area. IP attorneys are going to be suing for the next bunch of decades. I'm sure they're happy about this. But anyway, yeah, that's what I think about that. Do you think do you think they use this to push out news articles? Yeah, they're like a couple of publications have recently just admitted that they're doing that, and they've been doing that, and they don't intend on stopping. And some have even let go of some of their reporters. because they're like, we're just going to do it with AI. One of the big ad agencies, I forget who it was. Is it Publicis? No, it wasn't Publicis. I think it was, I don't know, it was the French one. No, that was Publicis. I don't know. One of them just said they're going all in on AI, on content generation. There's yeah, this is why is great. IY has lots of awesome open source projects out there. There's a lot of good open source stuff out there. I want to write a screenplay. Can it help? I think I just showed that. Hopefully that was good. Some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community's experience. Please don't troll and please don't attack each other. You can attack me. What did I get? So in the past 2 days, I've been told I look like Rosie O'Donnell, Fat Alec Baldwin, a skinny John Goodman. Someone told me that I should really pluck my nose hairs, which I did. Someone else told me to check my thyroid. What did someone say to get filtered? I have no idea. Oh shit, it just jumped me down. I got to go back and figure out where I was. Hold, please. Yeah, don't troll. It's so fucking boring. And don't be assholes. I'm tired of people being assholes. Don't be assholes. All I want is for you people to be nice to me and nice to each other. Is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask? Is it? Is it? Like the t-shirt. Thank you. My wife bought that. Yeah, I like this one. Sorry, I'm trying to go back and figure out where it was in the questions. I don't like to miss questions because that's why we're here. And if you asked a question, I want to try to answer it. But it also means that I'm way behind on my questions. So if you're like, why hasn't he answered my question? It's because I'm slow and old. I'm a 58-year-old on TikTok. What do you expect from me? I think I'm doing okay. I'm arguing with myself. Storyvine is the best. Thank you very much. Storyvine's my company. If you're new here, it looks like a bunch of new people just joined. My name is Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. I talk about things, generative AI. I'm not a machine learning specialist or an AI specialist. I am an entrepreneur that has been through a number of these technical revolutions in my life. I was just too young to be part of the PC revolution. I hit it right in the sweet spot of the World Wide Web, and I started one of the early digital agencies. And I think this is the next big one, generative AI. I think it's bigger than the web. It's huge, 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 huge. And that's why I'm here to demystify this stuff and try to find out where I was in my question answering. There was just an explosion. Oh, that was probably because of the basketball game just ending. You're not supposed to shoot off fireworks if we lost, dum-dums. Oh, man, I'm way far behind. Sorry about this. Okay. I would like to replicate your live broadcast setup. Oh, okay. I did that one already. Okay. I'm back to where I was. Now let me see. Let me get to a question I haven't answered. How dumb has computers made Americans? Well, the grammar of your sentence partially answers that question, apparently. ChatGPT can help you with that grammar. What about apps? What about them? Oh, so Futurepedia.io is a database of AI apps. There are tons of them out there. There's music generation ones and video generation ones and image generation ones. And there's all sorts of knockoffs and what I call wrapper apps, which are basically just prompts sitting on top of ChatGPT. So if you just want to explore apps, you can go do that there. I think the most important skill right now, if you're new to this stuff, is just start playing with ChatGPT. Start understanding what it makes possible. Oh, wait, there was an F1 thing. Who's your F1 team? Hello from Orlando. Hi, hey, Frankie. Verstappen is staggeringly good. He's a douchebag, and I can't stand him, but, he won the race today by 24 seconds. And, the Toto Wolff was like, well, we kind of slowed it up there. So it was probably only 15 seconds that he really beat us by. He's remarkable. I love Lewis Hamilton. I think he's an incredible driver. It's been painful to watch Mercedes struggling as much as they have for the past 2 years. I like Lando Norris a lot. Fernando Alonso, we have like 3 or 4 podiums in 5 races. Am I a software engineer? No, I have a degree in acting. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the founder and CEO of Storyvine, which is an automated video platform. I'm introducing my students to AI tomorrow. Good. They are 8th graders and community college students. I love it. I love it. Like, yes. Here's the thing. These tools are going to be everywhere. They're going to get rolled into Microsoft Office Suite. They're going to get rolled into Windows 11. They're probably going to get rolled into, Apple's operating systems. They're going to get rolled into the Google suite of tools, right? So Bard is going to be within, Google Docs and Sheets and all that sort of stuff. So this stuff's going to be everywhere. It's going to be a required skill to use it. So what you can do with students now is you can say, hey, this tool's out there. Let's learn it together. Let's learn what it's good at. Let's learn what hallucinating is. Let's learn how it gets stuff wrong. Let's understand that the nature of how we prompt this thing can actually dramatically affect the quality of the result. Let's learn critical thinking to understand, why are we using this tool in the first place? What are we trying to accomplish? What does success look like, right? All that sort of stuff is going to be critical. So, Amelin, yes, I'm awesome. More of that. Will AI write programs for me to do X, Y, or Z? And if so, how would I get it? It can. You need to know a little bit about programming. If you like, it will write code for you. If you don't know coding, what I would use is what's called a no-code tool like Zapier. So let me show you quick. I've written a number of content engines with Zapier, and I'm not a coder, and I have ADD, so I just don't have the attention span to do real coding. Did I? I think I signed in with Google. Remarkable conceptually, but very, very early and very, very janky. LangFlow is the front end in front of LangChain to make people like me be able to use it, but it's just really early and really janky, and kind of like spit and duct tape together right now. So is AutoGPT. All of those tools are very, very promising. They're just they break a lot. And they don't necessarily tell you why they're breaking or how they're breaking, and they're complicated sets of tools, and how the prompting actually works is a little funky. So I would say if you're a developer, I would be leaning into those things hard. And what I would probably do is I would actually join the open source communities and start contributing to those projects. I would really learn them deep if I were a developer, because I think autonomous agents are going to be a big deal. I think Apple's going to be great at them. Do I think prompt writing will continue to be important as chat AIs get better? I don't think that you'll have. So there's already something, new version of it that came out. Let me see if I've got it installed. I'm going to turn off Wolfram Alpha. Prompt perfect. Okay, so what this thing is, it's pretty slick. So if in my prompt I type perfect as the first word, and then I say, write a poem that mimics a famous poet about the blue sky. That's a crappy prompt, but I wrote perfect in front of it. And so it's firing up that plugin, Prompt Perfect. And then I think inside it just sends my crappy prompt to Prompt Perfect. They probably have some prompt that rewrites my prompt. So it says, sure, I'll write a poem in the style of Robert Frost, who is known for his nature poetry and his contemplative, often melancholic tone. So if I open up this thing, what I typed was what I told you here. It rephrased it. Compose a poem that imitates the style and tone of a renowned poet while focusing on the topic of blue sky. Your poem should capture the essence of the original poet's work while also incorporating your own unique perspective and voice. And then so the thing responded with that. And then, behold the boundless blue I stand, a solitary figure on life's sand, the sky, a canvas broad and grand, painted by a divine hand. The azure dome, so vast, so high, mirrors of depth. I mean, that's not bad. So I think that a lot of the tools are going to you're going to get assistance that happen behind the scenes where you write something crappy and it'll fix it for you. So I don't think that I think it's kind of like, why do you need to learn math if we've got calculators and computers and spreadsheets? Well, because you should probably understand the concept of, like, addition and subtraction and division, things like that. So I think it's very similar. Because we're very early, having that skill and honing that skill of understanding how to talk to these things, you really get to understand what they're good at, what they're not good at, why they make mistakes, and you can get better at it. So I think it's an important skill, but I don't think it'll be long term. I think we'll pretty quickly get to the point that you just kind of ask it vague, shitty stuff, and it gives you remarkable results. How do we get GPT-4 to analyze real-time MLS data? MLS is in multiple listing services like real estate. There's probably a plugin for that. And then ChatGPT is also coming out with this thing called Code Interpreter that can take big data sets and analyze the shit out of them. Go watch videos on Code Interpreter. In fact, I'll just, and I will search for Code Interpreter ChatGPT. It comes up as a search. Just go, like, any of these top videos here, talk about Code Interpreter. It's insane. It's insane. Baby AGI. Baby AGI is just like Auto GPT, and I think there's a couple other ones out there, GPT for All or something like that. They're what are called autonomous agents. So rather than having to just prompt and get an answer back, you give it a goal and it will go write its own prompts and figure out what tools it needs to use, and it'll go execute shit on your behalf. It's a little scary, and they don't really work all that well right now, but that's what that thing is. I'm awesome. Welcome back after an 8-day vacation. Yeah, I got put in detention for being a bad boy. All right. I know a guy that makes a lot more money than me. He's a coordinator. Oh, interesting. All right. We will provide learning communities support. Oh, that's cool. Amelin. Can chat AI be helpful for someone starting a business? We covered that. We need to learn to be visionaries. Am I a professor? I'm not a professor. I'm just a dude that's passionate about this stuff right now. Do we need to learn to be visionaries? I don't know that we need to learn to be visionaries, but I think those people that can think more, I get it's not quite visionary, but at least strategic. I think those people that can think more strategically and think critically, I think that's going to be the core skill in the future, is knowing what to ask rather than how to ask it. And right now, a lot of the work that we have is how do you do the thing? And there's less people that do the what should we be doing. And I think that's going to flip, where the real value is going to be in, what should we be doing? Who are we talking to? What are we trying to accomplish? What does success look like? What tools can make that happen? How do I put them together? I think that becomes the new skill. Inventors should be in prison. Totally disagree, but totally understand the fear. Stop talking to demons. Okay. I don't know that I am, but maybe I am. And I will swear. I swear here, so, if you don't like it, sorry. Are you not getting, or am I not hitting the query limit with GPT-4? I'm not. And if I do, it's only for 3 hours and I'm not using it enough to really hit it. And if I do, I just flip over to 3.5 or I go to Bing or I go to Poe. So why aren't you using unrestricted Dalai Lama? Because I'm too lazy to install it. The best thing you can do is test it. And if ChatGPT gets something wrong, you correct it. Exactly. Do you have a course we can purchase? I don't. I was thinking about putting together a workshop, teaching a workshop. So I might do that. Here's the deal. Like, it is my strong contention that no one right now is an expert. Everything's changing so fast that even if I put together the perfect course and taught you, here's exactly what to do, 3 months from now, half of that is going to be wrong. So maybe what I'll do is I'll put together a course that teaches like the how to think about it rather than how to do prompt engineering. Here are the 10 perfect prompts. That's all bullshit. That's all going to go away. So maybe I'll think about putting something together that's more about the philosophy of how to work with these things rather than the tactical piece, because the tactical is just going to go. You have to stay up on it. People that don't will be left behind. I think you need to get curious about this stuff. I agree with that. Will Apple release an AR VR device tomorrow? Yes, they will. They will probably, in conjunction with it, release some sort of AI stuff. But from what I'm hearing from, like, I just listened to a Twitter Spaces from Robert Scoble that was saying he thinks it's going to be a year before they really do anything with AI, which is a drag because I think Apple's going to kill it. I think they're going to do really good with this AI stuff with the like autonomous agents. And it sounds like their goggles are going to be interesting. They're not ready for prime time. I think they're only manufacturing 300,000 of them. They're only for the development community. There's another version coming probably in October, like before Christmas. So I don't know. Thank you for doing these lives and being so patient and supportive. You're welcome. I ask, they say, okay. How to persuade middle managers that they must learn ChatGPT. How does it do what? You said, wait, how does it do that? I don't know what it did. I think how you persuade middle managers that they must learn ChatGPT is that you don't tell them they should go learn it. I think you evangelize it. I think you get them in a room and you say, let me show you what I learned. I mean, that's what this channel is. Like this channel is really just me going, oh shit, I figured something out. Who can I tell? No one I know gives a shit about this stuff. What do I do? I'm 58. I know. I'll start a TikTok channel. But I did that. I would get them in a room and I would show them what it does. And I would say, what's the hardest part of your job? Or maybe you know the hardest part of their job and you just show them, hey, you know how you take like most of Friday afternoon to compile this little bit of data? Watch this. Paste in the raw materials, tell it to generate the work that they do, and watch it spit it out in 30 seconds. And then when they pick their jaws up off the ground, say, this is why you need to learn this stuff. Because if you don't, someone's going to come along that does what you do 10 times faster and cheaper. And what are we supposed to do? Like, I don't know. I would demo this stuff. I would evangelize it. I would get like, look how exciting this is. Look what this can do. Like, what if this freed up time for you to do the kind of work you really enjoy? So you're not doing so much of this, repetitive soul crushing work. You could do the more creative, interesting work that you're passionate about. I would, less stick, more carrot. What if I asked to tell everything I can about it, my name? You can do that. You can have it ask you a series of questions to talk about yourself and then do something with what you told it. Any university recommendations? I'm really reticent to do that. The University of Florida has leaned in pretty heavy on AI. NVIDIA built them a AI supercomputer, and it's rolled out across the university's curriculum. It's not just in the computer science department, which I think is the right way to think about this, because this is a business tool now. It's not just for the IT department. This is a full-on business tool, and will be increasingly. I would talk to the school leaders that you're looking at and ask them their position on AI. And if they're like, well, we've got blockers that block that, we're not going to deal with that, I would steer far away from them. I would, what probably makes sense is go listen to a bunch of podcasts on education where they're talking about this. And like, that's how I heard the provost of the University of Florida. I heard him on the NVIDIA podcast, and I was like, shit, I would go to school there. So I would go find schools that are taking this stuff seriously, and they're out there. There was, in fact, go Google. There's a New York Times article, I think back in January, that was a bunch of heads of universities saying we've got to take AI seriously. It's probably worth finding that article. Who programmed ChatGPT? Well, OpenAI is the company, and here's a fun little fact. So, ChatGPT was launched on November 30th, 2022. It got to 100 million users in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. The World Wide Web, it took 6 years to get to 100 million users. ChatGPT was 6 weeks. But here's the fun little fact. GPT-3 came out like a year and a half or a year and a quarter before ChatGPT came out. And in the documentation of GPT-3 were instructions for how to create ChatGPT. And Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, assumed that someone would make it. No one made it. So Microsoft was getting ready to announce their $1 billion investment in OpenAI, and Sam Altman said to his tech team, hey, you got 2 weeks to throw together ChatGPT. They built that thing in 2 weeks. They really just did it as like a proof of concept so that when they made this announcement, there was something for people to go play with. They had no idea it was going to take off like it did. 6 weeks. It got to 1 million users in 5 days and 100 million users in 6 weeks. And it changed everything. It changed everything. It smoked Google out of the shadows. Meta went all in on the AI stuff. Apple's going to do something big. AWS just announced it. Like it changed everything. So that's who did it. I feel like you're talking to the master from Tron. Okay, can ChatGPT be helpful for someone starting a small business? I think I answered these. I must be in the wrong place in the questions. I think I am. Probably got kicked off for drinking water again. I know, right? Oh, am I stuck? Oh, damn it. Am I still stuck? Am I good? If I'm good, hit the little heart button so I know I'm being heard. Okay, good. Thank you. People putting too much faith on ChatGPT. Too much faith on ChatGPT? Maybe. So listen, ChatGPT at this point is kind of irrelevant. It's rolled into Microsoft, so it's called co-piloted inside Microsoft. Google has Bard. Anthropic has Claude. That's a different company. Poe has Sage. There are now 20 or 30 open source large language models out there. So there you go. People putting too much faith, I assume you mean faith, on ChatGPT. You're not too impressed. Okay. Have you used it? Like, what have you tried to have it do? ChatGPT is a millennial wine mom. It is. It's also mansplaining as a service. Why can't I sleep? Why can't I stop doing these lives? The world is too interesting. It is. It's very interesting right now. There are alternatives to Amazon, like French. Wait. There are alternatives to Amazon like French or Godfather 2 or One Act. I don't know what that means. But cool. What model are you referring to? I have no idea. Adobe's a big company with deep pockets, so they become a prime target for being sued. Yeah, but Adobe knew that, and so that's why they did their model that way. They don't they're trying to limit being sued. And they want big companies to feel confident that they can use generative AI without fear of getting sued. It's not so much Adobe's afraid of getting sued. Adobe's afraid that if they put something out there that puts their customers at risk, that'll totally fuck up their business. So they want to make sure that if you generate something with Adobe products, they're fair game for commercial use. All right. Sorry, I lost my place. I'm finding it again. Ba-bum. Laughing my ass off, Rosie. Yeah, someone told me I looked like Rosie O'Donnell. I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I'm not fat Alec Baldwin, and I'm not skinny John Goodman. But I was called all of those in the past 2 days. Yes. The trolls. If you're new here, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. Go to those URLs at the top there. That top one is the official ChatGPT website. Just go there, play with it. It's important for you. Definitely a risky vibe. Not sure what that was about. The perfect world is unattainable. I know. Who do I need to cut? Lolo! Oh, that's funny. But someone, that's Larisha works for me. I don't know if you're still here, Larisha, but hey there, Rosie. I don't know. The trolls. Fuck the trolls. I'm right there with you. Is it terrible that I'm using ChatGPT to create a resume? No. Okay, here's the deal. ChatGPT is a tool. It's a tool just like Microsoft Word is a tool, just like your grammar checker is a tool, just like your spell checker is a tool, just like a calculator is a tool. It happens to be a really fancy fucking tool, but it's a tool. So if you need to write a resume, and that would take you 4 hours normally, and it spits it out in 6 minutes with back and forths, I'd say you're smart. I'd say you've got 3.5 hours back in your life that you can go out and hang out with your dog. So I'm new to AI. I'm relatively new to AI. I spent about 6 months really diving deep into the generative image stuff. And then when ChatGPT came out, started learning as much as I could. And I started an AI salon. I started a newsletter called Everyday AI. I started this TikTok channel. I started an art project called Kyle Shannon Dreams on Instagram and TikTok. I started 5 or 6 other projects that died on the vine because I've got ADD, and that's the shit that happens when you get excited about something. Have I tried the Randonautica, which attempts to read your mind? Oh, no, but someone told me about something that was like that. UAI.ai yesterday, where you answer, it gives you a bunch of questions, you answer them, and then it figures out your psychology and does shit. I would much rather have a tool that I can just say, here's my social media history, here's all my accounts, go learn all the shit I said, put it in a database, and then let's talk about who I am and what we can do together. You make me giggle. A true graphics guy. Thank you. I don't assume they're American. Have you played with LangChain? I've played with LangChain that's been set up. I haven't really set it up. I had ChatGPT give me a tutorial on setting it up, and I got about 90% of the way through it, and then I just got bored. Because the problem with LangChain right now, if you're not an engineer, it kind of requires more of an engineer mindset than I have right now. You really need to tinker with it. And you really need to kind of dig deep on it. It's quite simple to install. It's quite difficult to do something that doesn't suck. So I'm just going to wait for it to get a little better. And, some geeks will put a fancy front end on it. In fact, I just saw on Twitter today, someone built a whole thing on top of LangChain where it's like you point your YouTube channel at it and your Google Docs at it, and you point all these different things at it, and then you can go interact with your shit. So that's what I'm kind of waiting for, is someone just to build the front end for it so I don't have to dick around with it. What do I believe? ChatGPT is the next big thing. What do you believe? ChatGPT is the next big thing? Yes. It doesn't. Large language models are the next big thing. ChatGPT is just an instance sitting on top of a large language model. But there are already thousands of tools built on top of ChatGPT, things like Jasper and Copy AI. There's going to be image generation tools, video generation tools, animation generation tools, PowerPoint generation tools. Like all of this stuff is all the same technology, just aimed at different like tool areas. So yeah, I think it's a big thing. I think it's bigger than the World Wide Web. And like I said, I was a founder of one of the first digital agencies back in the mid '90s. So I've been through one of these once. I think this is bigger than that. What's been the big technical improvement in AI that caused this explosion? This is cool. So I can actually show you a slide on this. Where is it? Where are you? So Google wrote a paper called Attention is All You Need. And they introduced this thing called the transformer. And what the transformer did was, prior to the transformer, you had these neural networks and you have these machine learning, methodologies that take advantage of these neural networks. But you could only train it on relatively small data sets, and you kind of had to bring your own data sets. And what the transformer allowed is that you could train these neural networks on massive data sets. And what OpenAI discovered as they use these things more and more is that the more data and more processing power you threw at them, the better they got. And so they created GPT-1 and then GPT-2. And then in 2020, they released GPT-3. And GPT-3 was kind of the first one that was, people were like, holy shit, this is really good. And they did a couple of things there. They trained it on English language, and OpenAI uses this thing called human reinforcement learning, where they get the models to a certain point, and then they have human beings interacting with the tools, and then they'll say, is this good or bad? And then it fine tunes the model, and that's what got it really good. So that was one thing that they did. And then the other thing that they did was they created this thing called code something. They basically taught the large language model like 60 computer programming languages. They taught it how to program, right? And that became Copilot, which is in GitHub. What they found is that when they taught this model to do the programming, the English language, or the language side, got dramatically better. So there was kind of a step increase in capability, an emergent, an unexpectedly strong benefit from teaching this language model how to program. And then that evolved into GPT-4. But the transformer is what's sitting underneath Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, the image generation tools. It's the stuff that, they're reading people's brain scans right now and recreating images that they're seeing. It's all based on this stuff. So because you can train these models on these massive data sets, now you can start to do all these other interesting things with it. So that invention by Google in 2017 is kind of the tipping point that precipitated all of this stuff that we're seeing. And the ironic thing is that they invented it, but then they kind of held that technology back. I assume because they recognized that it would be an existential threat to their search business. So they said, well, we don't want to put ourselves out of business. And then Sam Altman went and made a kick-ass large language model and then built ChatGPT that 100 million people started using within 6 weeks. And that changed everything. So what you're going to see over the next 2 years is the entire development community is just pounced on this whole area. So the innovation we're going to see over the next 2 years is going to be just more face melting. Stuck. What happened to him? The signal just went. Am I still out? I missed the Henry Ford. Wait, I missed out when Henry Ford manufactured a car. That's funny. I missed out when we started nuclear energy. How can I make a career online with AI? Take what you know, just start learning AI, and then take things that you're passionate about or you know a lot about, find a problem in the world that you have a better solution for, and have AI help you solve that problem. AI is just the tool to help you get there. Don't think like, You can get rich by ChatGPT. You can make money with ChatGPT. All of those people are bullshit. They're trying to sell you something. How you make a business, how you make money is you solve a problem well enough that someone is willing to pay you money for that solution. If you can use AI to do that, great. Maybe you love kitties and you love coffee mugs and you want to make kitty coffee mugs. Well, you could hire illustrators on Fiverr to make those kitty drawings, or you could make those kitty drawings, or now you could use Midjourney to make those kitty drawings. And then you go stick those kitty drawings on coffee mugs and sell them on Etsy. I mean, the mechanism of how you start a business and how you generate value in the world, that doesn't change. The power and amplification of these tools is what changes. So maybe you can do things at a very different scale than you could have before, or you can do it faster or cheaper, things like that. How do we agent GPT to do the activity and then just spit lines of tasks? Just tell it to act like a project manager. Tell it what you're trying to accomplish and have it spit you lines of tasks, and it will do that. Reshma Thomas, how do we ask Agent GPT to do? Oh, I just answered that. Right. Show them what you accomplish using AI. Show your AOI. Correct. Why would you actually show them? Then you lose your job. No, I totally disagree. No, they're going to listen. These tools are going to be rolled into all of the work software that we use anyway. I would encourage you with this AI stuff, try not to have a mentality of scarcity, but have a mentality of prosperity, meaning there's more than enough to go around. Like, learn this stuff and get generous with it, because even if it's positive change, there's going to be a lot of disruption. So get in a generous mode, get curious about it, and then teach people as much as you can. Even if you don't know anything, teach someone that knows more than you do. There's people out there that have never heard of ChatGPT. There's a lot of people out there who've never tried ChatGPT and are just making assumptions about it and think they have 3 years to deal with this. They don't. It's coming fast. So I would say just engage with them. You won't share the information unless middle management asks. I'd rather get more lessons and skills. I don't know. I would go the other way. I would get middle management up to speed on this stuff. University of Florida was the one I was talking about. If you look up the NVIDIA podcast on AI, NVIDIA's AI podcast, it was back in January or February. Just look up the University of Florida provost, that episode. It's a really interesting episode. Can you tell the AI is offering competing? Wait, can you tell what AI is offering competing to accountants? All of it. And Code Interpreter that's coming from OpenAI is going to do data analysis at a crazy, crazy level. Sorry you answered that. There's a bulletin board with these AIs. Sorry. There is that bottom URL there, futurepedia.io. That's a list of lots and lots of different AI tools. So if you want to go geek out and blow 4 hours of your life after you spent wasted 2 hours of your life with me, go to Futurepedia. What I would really strongly encourage, though, is go to ChatGPT and just start playing, start learning it. Share what you know. Yes, I agree. Do you know about Midjourney pricing tiers? Yeah, well, I think the bottom one's $10. It's Runway. Where's Midjourney? Midjourney's got the worst fucking icon in Discord. Rules. Welcome. Trial support? No. I'm going to do something I rarely do anymore. I'm going to go Google that. Midjourney pricing tiers. $10 a month gives you 200 minutes. $30 a month gives you unlimited GPU time. The Pro plan is $60 a month. What's nice about the Pro plan is you can create private areas so people don't see your prompts. Let me go back a little bit here. I got lost in the questions. I got lost. Is there a free AI for science literature? Well, so here's the thing. The base knowledge understanding sitting underneath GPT-4 is like all of the internet. So you can just say, act as a science fiction literature professor at an elite university. Like, start your prompt with that and then start interacting with it, and start talking about sci-fi books and characters and theories and things like that. I asked GPT-4 on Poe if it was GPT-4. It said it was GPT-3, not 3.5. Wait, GPT-4 on Poe, if it was GPT-4, it said, well, that may or may not be relevant. So GPT hallucinates. GPT confidently will answer you even if it's wrong. I know for a fact that Bing is based on GPT-4. I assume that if Poe is labeling something GPT-4, that it's actually GPT-4. I'm like 20 minutes behind on comments. That was exactly my point on why Adobe did that. So yeah, I know I'm behind. Sorry about that. Someone said I rock. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. The AI brain. Yeah, it's a cloudy brain. I just wrote an obituary with it, and it was really heartfelt and exactly what I was trying to say. You know, like I've said this before, and it's a really interesting nuance about these tools. So, people ask, is it sentient, and does it have consciousness, and is it reasoning, and is it doing all this, and does it have feelings? And the answer is no to almost all of that. It's a probability engine. But the way they coded GPT-4 in particular, it very much wants to please you, and it very much wants to interact with you as a human conversation. And I find that it's very good at empathetic language, and it's very good at nuance. You can ask it very polarizing questions where if you ask that in today's world, you'd get flamed out and canceled or whatever it might be. And GPT-4, well, all the GPTs really, because they don't have an emotional component to it, it doesn't get triggered. So you can just put in like facts and say, compare this with this. Even if those are really highly charged things in our society, it will just compare them. And it does it with nuance, and it does it with grace, and it does it with empathy. And they did a test a week and a half or so ago now that they had patients talk to ChatGPT doctors, and they didn't know they were ChatGPT, and real doctors. And then they asked them, which doctors did you prefer? And the patients overwhelmingly chose the ChatGPT doctors, and they cited two reasons. One, they were more competent, and two, they were more empathetic. So it doesn't surprise me at all that it wrote that obituary well and helped you gather your thoughts. It tends to be very good at that. Fellow ADHDer, yeah, go ADHD. ADHD club president. That's hilarious. Do I think they will merge AI, VR, metaverse, and beyond? Yeah, I think that AI is going to drive adoption in the metaverse. I think whatever Apple's going to announce tomorrow is going to be a stepping stone, but I think ultimately their glasses flop, but I think probably the thinking beneath them and how they're thinking about world building and how Apple already thinks about utility, I think they're going to be really good at some of the stuff that isn't so much like going into VR, like the virtual world bullshit. I think it's going to be more about augmented reality and it's going to be more about autonomous agents where you get to talk to them. And maybe you even get to talk with your synthesized voice, and it will do things for you. And so, yeah, so I think AI is gonna accelerate the ability to build virtual worlds, but AI is also going to power a lot of the augmented reality stuff, and then AI is going to be the kind of lubricant of being able to communicate with these tools without having to type stuff and do prompt engineering and all that bullshit. I think it'll get very high level very quickly, where you just kind of ask your phone or your tools or your computer, hey, I would like to start a business. What should I do? Out will come everything. Like, it won't be such a chore to figure out how to use these tools. And then, yeah, I think ultimately we kind of naturally evolve into having glasses that just kind of look like glasses like this, where I can, meet someone and it reminds me what their name is because I have ADHD and I'm horrible with names. That's so and so. Here's when you met them. Here's the last thing you talked about. Oh, that would be nice. And then at some point I can just, turn on the blinders and go into full virtual reality if I just want to avoid people. So yes, I think AI is going to drive all that stuff. Is there an open source NLP framework worth learning? I don't know. When you say NLP framework, are you talking large language model? There are so many moving so fast. I can't recommend one. I'd say just start hanging out on Reddit would probably be the place to hang out and hang out with geeks that are geeking out on large language models. They are moving so fast that it's hard. I can't get DALL-E to make an image that remotely looks like my prompt. Is Midjourney way better? Midjourney is way better. DALL-E sucks. It would be nice if it didn't, because you can do easy API calls to DALL-E, but you can't do them to Midjourney. But Midjourney is just a whole nother level. And you have to be a bit geekier to use Stable Diffusion. So Midjourney is the only one I pay for of the image generation things. I think DALL-E sucks. I don't use it at all. For that very reason. It just don't work. If you've got Photoshop, go play with go get the Photoshop beta in your Creative Cloud little app there. Go to the beta apps and get the Photoshop app and play with generative fill. Here, I'll show you some to work. So the image I have behind all of that, whatever you call it, the ChatGPT thing. So the core image here, let me see. Wait, where's my history? Hey, hold please. I flattened this image, so let me see if I can use my history to go back. Yes, okay. So, let me move this thing out of the way. So the original image here was that. And so then I selected the left and right sides, and I just said, so when you select something, this little window pops up that says generative fill, and you just click that button, and then you can either type in a prompt or not. And so what I did was I selected the areas to the left and right of that image, and I said generative fill. I didn't type anything in, and it filled in that. Now this is like really subtle gradients. Like, to Photoshop all of this stuff in would take you forever to get the subtlety of the gradients right. Like, gradients are really hard to clone. And then I grabbed the bottom part of the image and, where the sort of shoulders were, and it gave me this cool smoke option was one of them, but there were different options it gave me. Let's see. It gave me that option with kind of like a hipster hoodie, and that option with like a dark zip up front, but it gave me that, and I like that. So then I grabbed the little two white areas to the left and right, and I said generative fill, and it filled in the rest of the smoke. And then I just grabbed the top and I said, fill that in. And again, there were a couple of options here. Oops, wait, sorry, that's the wrong layer. There was that option, which is kind of cool. There was that option, which is bad. Like, it screwed up the top of that thing. And then there was this one, which I like pretty good. So generative fill is really, really, really powerful. So if you've got access to Photoshop, get the beta and start playing with the generative fill, because it is awesome. It's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Can I explain the transformer that Google built in 2017, please? I cannot explain what it does technically. I can tell you what it made possible. If you want to read about it yourself, you can go search Google for the phrase "attention is all you need." So I have it up here somewhere. Maybe I don't anymore. I'll just go like, "Attention is all you need." So go Google "attention is all you need." Hang on. And you'll see this paper at archive, that ARXIV is said archive. And you go to "attention is all you need," and this is the paper, and then over on the right hand side you go to the PDF and you can read it. You can also just copy and paste the text from this and paste it into ChatGPT and ask it to explain it. But what this paper did, one of the primary things that this paper did that has had all the impact on everything is it introduced this thing called the transformer. And what the transformer allowed was for these large language or these machine learning models to be trained on massive amounts of data. And so OpenAI realized this, and they kept throwing more and more compute power and more data at it, and it just kept getting better. And so that's when they flipped from a nonprofit company to a for-profit company, and they got Microsoft to invest, and they used all of Microsoft Azure servers to be able to do all this compute and things like that. So it's basically just the thing. It's the T in GPT, generative pre-trained transformer. So that T in GPT is the transformer architecture that allowed these things to be trained on massive data sets like all of the internet. So that's the result of what it is. How it actually does it, I don't know well enough to talk about. Workforce management kind of hurt us on the find a way to solve a problem. Yeah, I know. Listen, corporations are a pain in the ass, and they do not always serve the best interest of the people. So I talked about Microsoft pricing tiers. I'm getting tired. I'm gonna sleepy. So I'm gonna answer a few more questions and then I'm gonna take off. All right. Can I explain what people mean when they say AI will make millionaires? Yeah. So if you were there for the early days of the web and you started, a little site called, Yahoo or pets.com or whatever it might have been, when you first started it, everyone assumed that no one would ever put their credit card in the internet, right? They assumed no one would ever buy anything on the internet. If you were someone like Jeff Bezos and you're like, I think we could probably sell books on this thing. And a lot of the early days were like, no one's going to put their credit card in the internet. And so Jeff Bezos became Amazon, right? Became Jeff Bezos because they did. We're in a very similar place with this generative AI stuff right now, where AI's been around for decades, but ChatGPT has made GPT accessible to business people. You don't just have to be machine scientists, data scientists, machine learning people, or data scientists or researchers. You can be just like a guy like me that's got a business that's like, holy shit, this could change everything about my business. The next 5 to 10 years, there are going to be businesses and concepts of business and concept of how we work and how we make money that we can't even imagine right now. So the opportunity is start learning about this stuff, because as janky and weird and imperfect as it is right now, it's remarkable. And what will happen is you might be the person, or I might be the person to go, oh, you know what this could do? If you took this tool and you stuck it together with that tool and you solved this group of people's problems, that could be kind of cool. And then you put that out there as a business, which you can do really quickly now because you have all these really powerful tools to help you do that. You put that out in the world, and 5, 10, 20 years from now, that might be worth billions of dollars, right? Now, whether or not you survived all that and capitalized on it, that's up to you, right? That's what entrepreneurship is. But we're at such a small, teeny, tiny part of the beginning of this industry that we don't even have a clue what it looks like yet. So there's just massive amounts of opportunity. So that's what they're talking about. I was talking about aliens with them, and I see I cannot get to the level of intelligence that they will help us further develop our brain but not surpass it. I would say GPT-4 has significantly surpassed my brain at this point. Probably not some of the nuance stuff and the critical thinking stuff and the reasoning and the empathy, but the knowledge, holy fucking shit, it knows everything. We are guiding the teens and young adults into the Web3 industry. They create exonomy. Yep, interesting. Should go act by act. They pick one word that they say and build it into it. Okay, I think you're talking amongst yourselves here. That's cool. MJ is learning more every day. Midjourney is amazing. If you haven't played with Midjourney, it's worth it. You can play with Midjourney. I think it's up to 25 images just to go see what it is and what it's like. You have to have a Discord account, and you have to learn how to do it in Discord, but it's not terribly. You just go to midjourney.com and you can learn it, but it's remarkable. Screen's freezing again. I know, because I have Xfinity and they suck. I will be needing to illustrate a book for kids. Can I use Midjourney? Yes, brilliant for that. Brilliant for that. And you can say like watercolor. You tell it whatever style you want and whatever you want the animals to be. And I want it to. You can tell it children's book illustration in watercolor style that's got an elephant walking near a river and da 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 da. It's incredible. You can probably do it over the weekend. Do I have anything on STEM program? Do I have anything on STEM program? How to learn? Go to GPT-4 and have it create you a custom STEM curriculum for your kid with whatever their challenges might be at whatever age they are, and have it generate a STEM program. Tell ChatGPT what your kids' hobbies and interests are, and tell it to generate like a summer STEM program curriculum for them to learn, using only examples and activities that they are interested in. That would be a good one. Is Google Bard better than Bing and ChatGPT? Not in my experience. Certainly not for writing. If you want to do writing, ChatGPT or GPT-4 is the way to go. Bard sucks at writing. I've heard Bard is better at coding, but GPT-4 is pretty fucking capable at coding. So I have, every time I've tried Bard, even with the new stuff that just came out last week, is still a little stinky. It's stinkier than it should be for the company that invented the core technology. Which one is best? I don't know which thing you're asking about, but I mean, the reason I have these on screen is these are the things that I think are best. I think probably, well, that is definitely number one, and then you could probably flop Bing and Poe. They're kind of they kind of have different advantages. But ChatGPT-4 is pretty remarkable. That's the one I would use. All right, I'm at the bottom of the questions. If I missed your question, I'm sorry. I'm just an old dude. It looks like we got some new people in here. I'm taking off. This is the AI Learning Lab. I talk about AI stuff. Feel free to give me a follow. I try to go live once a day. This weekend, I went live 4 times. So I'm crispy. I can't talk. I need some water. Water. I need water. We're Doug and Wendy Weiner. We've got diverticulitis. That's for the Gen Xers out there. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Peace out. Have a good night.